Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Natalie. Grab your cup of coffee, tea, matcha, and join me in this cozy vlog. Today I'm diving into something a little bit different from your regular reading vlog. We will be reading, but I thought I would do it with a little bit of a twist. We're gonna be comparing these two formats of reading. You might have heard those who swear by Kindles me say that Kindles help you read faster, read more books, yada yada yada. I want to put it to the test. I've been saying that to my friends quite a lot recently, and I think Kindles are known for being very practical in terms of travel, being very portable. It's not the same slipping this into your bag than slipping this hardcover book. I'm curious to see if you actually read faster on a Kindle over a book. I'll be reading this book physically today. This is Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales by Heather Fawcett. This is the third book in the trilogy of Emily Wilde's book series. I'll be reading in my Kindle The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Now, this is the first book in the series. I've heard really good things about this one. I thought it was fitting to try and read two books in the same genre. So romantasy, fantasy, fiction. The way that I'm gonna track this, I'll track with a timer how long it takes me to read both of these. I'll start off with this one and then I'll move on to the Kindle. You guys will be able to see some commentary. I promise no spoilers. Let's get reading and let's get started. Let's get cozy, grab your blanket and let's go. Or if you like this sort of videos and this sort of vibes, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And like and comment down below if you have tested this out by yourself as well and which book I should read next. Let me know. I have a little confession to make. If you watched my previous reading vlog in which I read Caraval from Stephanie Garber and I started reading this book, you might be like, have you not read it? No, I haven't read it. I started reading this book in my previous video, which was 3 weeks ago. I am in love with this series. It's not that I didn't get like hooked into it, but before I got fully hooked, because I left it off in like page 20, I decided that I wanted to finish the Caraval trilogy because I was just hooked. It was just, I'm very much a mood reader, so that was just the mood that I was on. That's all to say that I started reading this book in a previous video. I'm on page 22. It starts out very slow, like all of the books, all of the Emily Wilde's books start out very slow and then they pick up the pace. I figured it was fine. You know, these two books have a relatively similar number of pages. I think this one has 380 and this has 354 pages. I might actually need to reread the pages. Drink of choice with you. The mood is set. To be honest, I much prefer reading at night. 53 minutes in. I paused for a second just because I wanted to say one of my favorite things in fantasy books I've discovered is when the author describes like super elegant costumes or dresses or just any sort of attire that people in like fairy or fantasy realms are using, because so often they use like beautiful things in nature that wouldn't normally, like, can't physically be sewn into clothes, worn, like I don't know, Starlight, for instance. I just love the description of clothes on fantasy books. And maybe that's just because I love fashion, but I feel like it's such a nice touch. Obviously, I love when they describe these like magical, majestic places and castles and stuff like that, whatever. But I don't know, for some reason clothes hits differently. Hello everyone, sorry that I'm looking a bit scary, but this is the perfect light situation for reading in my opinion. Obviously because I'm not reading in the Kindle, it's gonna be a bit dark to actually read the pages, but fear not, I have this. Right, that was a bit jarring. I have this little light that you just like clip on. I'm sure you've seen them, but if you haven't, it's one of those lights that you can just like clip onto your book, magazine, whatever it is that you're reading. But this is the ideal cozy mood. The sunset is gorgeous, you guys. I tried to show you a snippet of it. You enjoy that. So we're currently sitting at 1 hour 32 minutes. We're on page 80. I look so scary right now. The main character of the books, he's just so cute. And the thing is, no, I don't want to spoil it. I'm not gonna say anything else, but like, I've been reading quite a bit of romantasy and romance lately, but it's very like and smutty romance, which I love, no shade to that. When I catch this like really cute, really well done, low burn romances that are just like emotionally mature but still romantic and still, I know the word I was looking for, tender. This love is so tender and so sweet in the best possible way. Like, they're one of my favorite couples. The female interest, she's very much like dry. It's your almost like your grumpy sunshine type of love, but she's not really grumpy, I would say. She's more like just not as openly affectionate as the male character, and I love that. I find that so cute. Again, I'm gonna do some reading. The ambience is set, and I made a little at 3 hours 30 minutes. Let's go. One of the things that I love the most about this story is that the entrenched loyalty that a lot of like little creatures or almost like pet-like animals have towards some of the characters or their like owners of sorts. Someone crosses you, then they cross me too, you know, that type of loyalty, and I just love to see it. Guys, I can't. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I'm so happy. Just shy of the 7-hour mark. Finished at 6 hours 59 minutes 12 seconds. Now tomorrow I'm gonna start Cruel Prince and I'll let you guys know how it goes. But tonight I'm going to bed. Alright you guys, I painted my nails. Let me know what you think of the color. I'm very much in my baby pink, baby blue era. Look at them. They're freshly painted, which is risky business when I need to read and film, but I honestly don't have any other moment in the day to do it, so here we are. I am resetting, but this is where we left off with the physical book of Emily Wilde, so we're resetting. I heard good things about it, so let's go. I'm not even gonna try and pretend like I want to understand this map. Whenever I start a new fantasy series, I don't know, let me know if you're the same, but like I don't even try with the map because I just know it's flying right over my head. I'm not remembering anything. Usually around the second or third book, I'm like, okay, let's look at the map and see where we're meant to be at. The main downside for me of reading in a Kindle is that the maps, at least in my version of a Kindle, which granted is the oldest one, I think it's from like 2013 or something like that. Are you kidding? Like, how am I meant to see anything in that tiny little map? This book is already starting interesting. Guys, I paused the timer for a second. Why is this book starting off so wrong? I mean, so many things have happened in the span of like 2 pages. No, I'm on page 6. But honestly, it felt like 2 pages. How long is the book? Like, how? I'm just gonna read. I'm just gonna read. I have this setup going on. I realized I didn't give you a review of Emily Wilde and I finished the trilogy, so I will do that at the end of the video. Like when I finish both books, I will give you a review and my ratings for them. But yeah, let's continue with Cruel Prince. I think I might be able to finish it tonight because, as you can probably tell, it's still daylight. I'm starting reading today earlier, which I'm so excited for. So let's go, because this book has me hooked. And I think you can tell it hooked me from the beginning, so far so good. And I'm like 50% through. I'm so excited. I shouldn't be happy about this turn of events, but I am. I just love myself a morally ambiguous character, okay? I haven't made up my mind. Haven't made up my mind. Alright, I haven't finished the book yet. I'm almost done with the book. I'm at 92%. However, I have reached the same number of pages as Emily Wilde's book has. So this has 354 pages. I'm literally about to start page 355. I did read it slightly faster, you guys. I mean, it's not a huge amount, but I am at 6 hours 32 minutes 21 seconds. But I know it was 6 hours 59 minutes, so I would say that for the same number of pages I read half an hour faster on Kindle. Might not make that big of a difference, but now I can confidently say you can read faster on a Kindle. Obviously, I know this is no scientific research. There were so many variables that weren't the same or controlled. Obviously, the books weren't the same. But to be honest, if anything, I expected to read this one faster because I was used to the story and most of the characters really and the world. So I thought that was gonna make it easier and quicker for me to get the grasp of this one. Cruel Prince is the first book of the series, so I was completely unaware of anything. And if anything, I feel like I have been reading a bit slower because I'm trying to catch the details, you know? I'm really hooked on this book, so I'm definitely gonna read the other ones. So I wanted to know what was going on and not just read and read and read really quickly. I am surprised. But anyways, I'm gonna finish the book because I need to know what happens next. And I will give you my review and my ratings for these two books tomorrow and we'll be done. But yeah. It's the next morning. I can't believe I ate this book up so quickly, guys. I read it in like 2 days. Two things that I want to address in this last part of the video, which if you've stuck all the way through, I love you. Please comment down below a fairy emoji so I know that you stuck all the way through and you're a real one. I told you this took me half an hour less than this book to manage the same amount of pages. And it actually took me still less than this book to finish, even with extra pages. So roughly 10 minutes less than the other one. This was all a little fun challenge. It's just a nice little experiment because obviously there are so many things I can factor in as to why you read a book faster than another one, different ways that the books were written in. And I will say, now that I'm gonna dive into the rating of these two books, just in case you were curious and wanted to read them or you have read them, let me know down below if my rating is similar to yours. A good point that I will say is that in this book I felt like, don't get me wrong, I told you I'm hooked. I already bought the next two books in the trilogy, so I'm in for the ride. But I will say that the world building in this book I have read better. This has a lot of world building, which could actually contribute to me reading slightly slower. Even though I was familiar with this world, it was still a new setting, and Heather Fawcett is really descriptive with everything, the creatures, everything that is around. Not to say there wasn't any descriptions of that sort of thing here, but I did feel like it lacked a bit of world building when I compare it to this book or other books that I have read. That is also why, I'm jumping ahead, but I gave this book 3.75 stars. It was so close to 4, but something just didn't feel right when I went to click 4 stars. I managed to give that rating in Fable, which is similar to Goodreads, but I've been loving a bit more than Goodreads recently. But I'm still using Goodreads. So on Goodreads, I actually did give it 4 stars because, you know, I just rounded it up. But in reality, I would give it 3 stars. 0.75. I have a feeling that the next books in the trilogy might get higher than that. I just feel like this, as a first book, was good to get me hooked, but it wasn't 4 stars. I felt like that was a good rating. I really like the characters and I really enjoyed the political ambience, the political plot that was going on. That's something that, whilst it has featured in past fantasy books that I've read recently and last year, it hasn't been as prominent, I want to say. This felt very political, and like there were a lot of political schemes going on and a lot of manipulation and betrayal and dishonesty, which sounds awful but makes an interesting book and an interesting plot. I enjoy the morally great characters in this book because there are a ton. And now moving on to this one. Guys, this was so bittersweet. I love this series with my entire heart. I might be going back to this series in the autumn. I feel like it's that perfect cozy read for autumn and winter as well. I love this book. It was such a satisfying ending. I will say, and I mentioned this in my ratings on Goodreads and Fable, but I did find one of the last like quests that the characters go on, I felt was a bit unnecessary. Fell a bit flat for me. Main obstacle and quest by that point was sort of resolved, and I feel like they just added in this like cherry on top, but it was sour. I'm going for the metaphor. It wasn't even sour, it was just tasteless, maybe? That sounds harsh. I would say I feel like the story could have done without that extra bit. It didn't ruin the story at all. It could have ended before that, but to be honest, I'm happy that I got more time with the characters. I absolutely love them. Love it. I feel like it's so cozy. It's such a feel-good read. As I've said multiple times, it's such a cute, tender, just genuine romance story as well. It's very slow burn and it's closed doors, so don't expect spies or anything like that. I mean, there's some kissing and stuff like that, but like very, very top level. But still, you get hooked, you get giddy. You feel the romance through the pages and in your soul, and I love it. I gave this 4 stars. I'm not sure if I gave it higher than 4 stars, like 4.5 or something like that. But anyways, 4 stars, just to round it up. I'm on track with my reading goals for this year. I've read 10 books so far. Let me know if you have reading goals for this year. What are they? Are you on track? Are you not? You know, life happens, so you might be off track. But right now I'm good, but who knows if summertime comes and I stop reading and then I have to quickly catch up at the end of the year. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in and watching this video and reading with me or watching me read, whatever it is that you did. And I'll leave you here. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you in my next one.